Shalom, Sister Kate here. By what's in the background, you can tell I am once again out west. And the last time I was out here, I did videos on the wheat because there was so much of it. Well, on this particular trip out west, besides the fact that there's nobody here and there's plenty of jobs for people who do come here, we just heard about a guy saying it was $18 for, was it the dairy? $18 an hour for an 18-year-old to start working at one of the businesses in this area. That was one thing, but there's several things we noticed on this trip about this part of our country. And one of them was, things are big. I mean, I know they're big in Texas too, but they're also big. The fields out here are enormous. They're huge. The irrigation systems that are used in those fields are enormous. You can see these wheat fields and stuff from an airplane. You can see the big shapes, and round shapes are like cornfields that fit the irrigation setup. And because it's a big long line of irrigation equipment and it moves in a big circle, the crop is a circle. That was one of the things we noticed. Another thing we noticed was the water. Like, water is a huge deal out here. We're about to pass some, and this is the very rare. We have not seen much water like this out here. And some of the people we talked to who do their farming and stuff out here, it is a huge deal. Because one, they do irrigate, they have to irrigate out here, but two, water is limited. Like the town where the person we visited lives, the town water source dried up. And so the town is now piping water in from like a mile away. And the farmers all talked about whose well was where and what was being worked off of it. There's a great big irrigation thing out there, Pastor, if you can zoom in on that. I mean, look at the size of that. Yeah, I mean, it's like, how many city blocks is that? 10 long? It's just huge. So water was a really big thing that we noticed this time. Here's another something we noticed right up here. Milo. We haven't seen Milo in a really long time. The last time we drove out here, yeah, we saw a lot of wheat, we see a lot of corn, and then normally soy. Like every other field is soy. And on this trip, we have seen many fields with Milo. And Milo is one of those grains that is used for cereals and stuff. It's kind of like a barley. It's sort of a, you know, it can do many different things. Apparently, we've been told you can eat that raw. So what's happening with our food supply, that they're not making as much soy, which they have found, you know, can be detrimental to your health and it has effects on your hormones and stuff, to Milo, which is kind of general and can be used in all sorts of things. You know, that's interesting. So just a few observations. And again, if you live in a big city and you are telling yourself there's no place for me to go, you know, there's no jobs available, I'm just stuck here. No, there's this out here waiting. And the last thing that you're going to see it here behind me, we saw was a lot of power, a lot of energy type things. We've seen derricks, we've seen pipelines, we see power poles, we see monitoring stations for different gas lines, and so power being generated out here, and the use of power and gas lines going through natural gas and stuff is also a big deal in this area. I'm sure it employs people. I'm sure there's a whole group of people who understand it and are on top of it. They're monitoring it and controlling it, selling it and buying it and figuring out where it comes from and how to pipe it and all that other stuff. So those are some of the observations. You can get out of the city, you can come out here. There is jobs, there's houses, there's all kind of things available. Just give it a thought. All right, bless you, shalom.